I believe Muse on Fame truly transcends beyond being a simple webtoon. It covers aspects of real life like love, betrayal, defeat, happiness, winning and losing, complicated relationships, and most importantly, the cost of fame. It delves deep into the loneliness that comes with being at the top, the clash between love and success, the path we choose and what we learn with people on the way, the impossible expectations to keep up with everyone, and the inevitable emptiness that sets in when you finally reach your dreams. So let's explore this emptiness through the lens of Muse on Fame. So the story of Muse on Fame starts with a shot of a baddie doing my future job if this YouTube thing doesn't work out.
I just have to ask, how does a toilet get that dirty? Oh my goodness.
That's our main girl, Myeong. She feels stagnant in her daily life while everyone around her seems to be thriving. She's cleaning toilets as a side gig since she can't get a decent job because she's currently an underground actress. So she goes home to her distant boyfriend who works as a director, only to find an old classmate of hers in her own home.
Oh shit.
Nasty boyfriend tells her that the main role of the movie Muse has been given to Yena Ban because she's got more clout. Girly Pop is rightfully upset, but piece of shit boyfriend dismisses her, but she still kicks out Yena.
I am inside you. No! Get the fuck out my house, Vic!
The next day, she heads out to work, but it starts raining. She seeks shelter in the nearest building.
Huh?
Turns out that there's an exhibition, so she gets curious and walks in, only to find her own face plastered on each photograph. She comes to find out that she's the muse of some mysterious figure called Unmil. Seeing her happy self from a decade ago captured on camera, she reminisces on the past before her life became pathetic. So while her butt-faced boyfriend is out cheating, working on a project, Girly Pop gets an email about that Muse thing. It seems that a top agency that manages a bunch of successful people has contacted her because she was recognized at the exhibition. She decides to meet them to seek answers, only to find out that Unmil has already passed away. When director Baek asks her about her relationship with Unmil, she awkwardly confesses that she never knew him and he never got her permission to post the photos. That puts Myeong on a crossroad between choosing to stay anonymous and take down the photos, or take the credit for being the muse and get famous. After the meeting, she goes home to ponder the idea, although she's a little hesitant about it. She suddenly gets a call from her boyfriend, and she's starting to feel that things are actually going to work out. But that's until Yena Ban decides to be a homewrecker again and invites boyfriend to eat out. She starts asking him whether he still feels the same about Myeong as he did during the beginning of their relationship. We get a quick flashback to their early moments sharing their hopes and dreams. It's clear that both of them changed so much, but boyfriend is sure that the radiant Myeong that he fell in love with is still in there. But despite his answer, Yena Ban strategically pretends to be drunk so he can get her home. And that's when she's gonna strike. And oh boy, does she strike! But Myeong only catches the part where they're both kissing, so she freaks out. Boyfriend tries to reason with her that it's not what it looks like. But it's already too late. While they're having their moment, Yenaban is sitting outside like a doormat and waits on them to break up. Regardless, it seemed that their relationship was heading this way because the promise they made to each other years ago now seems unreachable. At the end, Myeong feels defeated by Yenaban again. With nothing on her name and nobody else to hold on to, she goes to the one place that she knows, the archive of her happier days. But she wasn't alone that night. Manager Un was also there. With nothing else to do and nothing else to say, Myeong expresses that she wants to become so famous that everyone in the world dreams of her. She wants to shine so bright that she's the brightest star in the sky. And it seems that the manager is quite in on that. And that's how, after losing everything, Myeong-yu reinvents herself as the muse. The next we see of her is her in an interview where she needs to answer different questions about her and Eunmil. But turns out that being in this industry requires some level of lying. And that makes Myeong feel disgusted, but that doesn't matter, because really all of that is just director Baek's little formula to make Myeong-yu famous, and another part of it includes being cast in a drama with a fellow actor that she already had prior history with nonetheless. So she gets handed the script, and turns out that a person from a completely different caliber of work will be also joining the drama. And that's a famous idol called Lily. And when it comes to the role of the male lead in the drama, it turns out to be Hae-do Kang, whom Myeong recognizes. But before all that unfolds, we switch back to what Iena and now ex-boyfriend have been up to since the breakup. She's still trying to get on with him, but no matter what, he doesn't see her that way. Nevertheless, she still wants to add vitriol to everything, so she informs him that Myeong is going to be in a drama with Hae-do. Speaking of Myeong and Hae-do, they finally meet. And it seems that there has been some kind of romantic implication between them. And of course, that is confirmed with a brief flashback. The issue with Myeong is, however, that the script of the drama really hits home. Consequently, she's starting to feel that despite everything that's unfolding in her life, she can't seem to run away from her past. But time doesn't wait for anyone, so the shooting begins, and it seems that the idol Lily is having a hard time. However, she gets comforted by Hae-do, and she can't help but fall in love with him instantly. Hae-do then walks up to Myeong, and he really gets straight to the point. Myeong, however, already has experience with his selfish front, and she knows that anything he says to her is for the sake of the drama. Lily, however, is not blessed with this information, so she really falls hard for him. So when she finally meets up with Myeong, whom she's been looking up to for a while, she asks about Hae-do. Myeong is utterly charmed by her youth and radiance, so she's unable to say how much of an asshole he really is. And she's also starting to feel that she's falling behind them on the sidelines. So Myeong has been feeling down for the rest of the day, and on the drive back home, she gets comforted by manager Un. She has a moment of vulnerability and confesses that she doesn't want to be alone. Even though they're not really close yet and they have shared one tender moment back at the exhibition, he still informs her that he's always going to be by her side. And yet being understood weirdly comforts Myeong. So things are a little awkward at first, and she realizes that she doesn't have much to offer him except the beer. They get into a conversation about age, and it turns out that he's a little younger than her, so then he asks her what it was like to be 25. She explains that while she didn't commit to all the extra steps towards getting a bigger role, she was still happy with whatever she got. But ultimately, it didn't get her anywhere just because she wanted to remain pure. And I can't blame her for that. And now that she's been cast in a bigger work, she's hoping that it can be her breakout. So after listening to her, he decides that for her sake, he's gonna chug one down. But jokes aside, I really love this moment between them because it shows just how tender he is with her right from the start. But he cannot hold his alcohol well, so this gentle moment is interrupted. So he pretty much falls asleep on Myeong's lap. Weirdly enough, he starts muttering something in his sleep. And then he smiles like a psycho, but let's keep this moment cute between them. The next morning, he gets pretty embarrassed of what he's done, but Myeong reassures him and even offers him to take a shower. And that's when we see this. But let's pretend this never happened. The first episode of The Working Girl and the Salaryman comes out, and as expected, Lily is getting all the flack.
Get him up, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up.
Lily sees all the mean comments about her stiff acting and she gets rightfully upset. Cause deep down she knows that all of these comments are true because in her own words, she got successful in this industry by pure luck. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, her duty as an idol is still to put on a happy face for everyone. And to get to where she is currently, she had to step over other people. So the reason she's holding on to this career so hard is, to her, this is survival, and that's the only thing she knows. So you cannot really blame her. The price to pay in order to be remembered is to suffer in silence. And that's Lily's story. So the filming resumes, but Lily couldn't hold it together due to the bad press. But Hato was not having it and he finally snapped. He finally showed his true colors to her that Myeong so desperately wanted to keep a secret.
Alright then. What? Hi. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Not you. You can choke.
Hato expresses his disdain for Lily because privileged people like her always take up the roles of unknown actors who actually deserve them. And that really puts things into perspective for Myeong because she realizes she didn't even need to audition for this drama. Her status as the muse was enough. And that unfortunately is the harsh reality of an industry like that. You would think that this would break Lily's spirits, but she got even more passionate. And if there's one thing I would give to nepo babies like her, it would be that she has self-awareness and she owns it. And that's why she's asking Hato for help and respect, because she knows that despite having all those privileges, she still wants to try her hand at acting. So Myeong is still watching on the sidelines and she feels the passion oozing out of these two. And that triggers her inferiority complex even more and she feels defeated and alienated. Anyways, the heated exchange between Hato and Lily actually proved to be fruitful for the filming. It seems that some sort of competitive relationship is forming between them. But anyways, Hato catches up to Myeong after the filming and they have a conversation. Myeong recalls how his words towards Lily actually stung her too. And to add more salt to the wound, he elaborates that people don't really care about Myeong-yu as a person, but they care about Myeong-yu, the actress. The person who's been carefully curated for other people. But regardless of that, Haedo invites Myeong to attend one of his live plays. And he tells her to bring a friend on the condition that it's not a guy. And what does Myeong do? Invite manager Un.
Excuse me, was you saying something? You can't tell me nothing.
After the show was over, Lily suddenly burst into the changing room. She's upset that Haedo didn't invite her to the musical. And another heated argument starts. Lily, however, came here to ask for help. She deeply admires Haedo and just wants to learn the formula to being good at singing and acting. Haedo tells her that instead of worrying too much on how to get better, she should just use this time to practice. And her acting comes out unnatural because she's putting too much pressure on herself.
Say something to the viewers sa mga kababayan natin because the last time that she was here, so many netizens were bashing you. They were condemning you for what you've done to her. They believed her statement. Now, would you like to say something? Make a message to our viewers.
Listen, look, and listen, and learn.
So when it's all said and done between them, filming starts the next day. It involves a kiss scene between Myeong and Haedo. And the best I could describe it is a kiss from the past, because we have a flashback. It's pretty much Myeong and Haedo being young and silly, and the ex-boyfriend who is not ex-boyfriend because he's not even boyfriend at the time, who barges in on them. Does that make sense? Anyways, the both of them reminisce on the past while an article comes out. It appears to be a leaked photo of Myeong's famous muse photographs that reveals Haedo. However, this doesn't fit the likes of Lily, who gets upset that Myeong didn't tell her that she and Haedo were still dating. Turns out that right after the article came out, Lily went straight to Haedo to ask about it. And he told her that they were still a thing. So Myeong catches on pretty fast and realizes that this is Haedo they're talking about, so she tells Lily to go find him and ask why exactly he lied to her. So she goes up to him only to receive the most heartless answer. He lied to her so she could immerse herself into the character she's playing for the last scene of the drama. But in that moment, everything she said and felt was real to her. And that's why she was hoping, even if for a brief moment, it could be possible that Haedo also felt the same. So she reasonably called him a jerk and left. And turns out that whatever she threw at him was a gift. And we see the heart-shaped sucker that is a symbolic parallel to the first time she fell for him. And hers is now broken.
She believed. He lied. Sbiv.
In the meantime, Myeong is wondering what to do of this article. But most of all, she's worried about Haedo, but manager Un reassures her that he's gonna be fine because he's fond of her. She suddenly gets a weird feeling that Un-mil is somewhere around her. Before she was able to ask about it, she gets interrupted by her sister. So Myeong gets dragged to her parents' house only to be humiliated. Her strict father never approved of her acting career, especially when a scandal like that is concerned. After she was made to feel like the failure of the family, she calls a familiar number. Ex-boyfriend picks up and Myeong realizes her mistake.
Psych! That's the wrong number!
Regardless of that, he still wishes her well, but Myeong can't take it. Luckily, manager Eun comes to her. They pick up where they left off about Eunmil. Turns out that there has been some kind of contract between director Baek and Eunmil's people. In exchange for all the photographs of the muse, Metaphor Entertainment will keep quiet about Eunmil. Myeong connects the dots and realizes that director Baek was the one who leaked the photo to the press. And at the same time, she's wondering why manager Eun is trying to help her even though he's also part of Metaphor. And he admits that he enjoys her acting and he wants to see her grow. Not as a muse, but as an actor. So that's when Myeong decides to open an Instagram account to kickstart her OF career. I'm kidding, but she still needs pictures, so that's when manager Eun steps in. And she pops off instantly cause she's a baddie. And she even shoots her first ad. And that made her feel like that the life she's always been dreaming of is finally within reach. But anyway, since the working girl and the salary man is coming to an end, Myeong has decided to look for other projects. She picks a screenplay that she really likes called Two Women and she expresses her wish to audition. However, on the day of the audition, life had to remind us that cockroaches like Yenaban still exist. Myeong is confused as to what Yena is doing there. But she tries her best to look behind that and introduces herself, only for Yena to start intimidating her on purpose. But this time she doesn't succumb to her mind tricks and takes her power back. Manager Eun catches up with her later and she admits that even though she tried to play it cool, she still wanted to run away. He gifts her a lighter and tells her that he's gonna be with her every step of the way so she can fight this industry as hard as she can. And she's starting to question whether he's exceeding his duties as a simple manager. And it seemed like she almost got a confession out of him, but he covered it well. Anyways, she actually passed the audition, so now she needs to meet up with the fellow actors and the director. To her greatest misfortune, turns out that both Yena and ex-boyfriend are involved in this movie. This time she couldn't stand Yena provoking her, so she left the room. Ex-boyfriend followed after and they met at the rooftop. He tries to reason with her about the Yena thing, but she tells him that this is not ultimately the reason she left. She didn't like the woman she was becoming while in a relationship with him. And the way he would mix up movies with reality. That's why she wants to keep this project as professional as possible and not involve their personal matters. So after saying that, ex-boyfriend sees the person she's become because of him and he feels responsible. That's why he gives her one last embrace and turns out that a certain someone is keeping a close eye on them. So when Myeong leaves, manager Eun tells ex-boyfriend to stay in his lane. Later, Myeong goes to celebrate at a dinner party with the staff of the working girl and the salary man. Filming is complete, so everyone is sending their best regards. All except Haedo. Suddenly, Lily asks Myeong to go outside for a second. She gives her a present and thanks her for everything while apologizing about the misunderstanding. Myeong doesn't feel angry about it since it looks like a friendship is already establishing between them. But suddenly, a yassified Haedo shows up out of nowhere. He wants to talk to Myeong, so Lily excuses herself. Now that the project is over, Haedo is wondering if they're gonna run into each other again. He's also curious to know what Myeong will be up to. Then he goes on to express that he feels empty after each project is finished. Since Hato is a person who runs from project to project and never slows down, he wonders what it would be like if he just ran with someone. And that's one thing that he's always admired about Myeong. So when his little monologue is over, Myeong goes back inside and recalls her journey so far. She admits to herself that while she has accomplished a lot of her dreams, she feels a little empty. She feels forgotten on the sidelines while people like Hato, Lily, and Yena only shine brighter. She realizes that her journey so far has a long way up. And what she's accomplished so far is just the foundation of something bigger. And whether that's a good thing, we're gonna find out in the second installment of the series with 2 women. But for now, thank you for tuning in to Muse on Fame.